Yeah, positive, negative in the sense what I think as a mental health professional. I've seen some of the movies. They actually start with the kind of particular. Suppose it's a disorder. They are showing they're doing it well, but by the end of the movie, they are. It's just more of entertainment, and the real therapy part or the treatment part getting dissolved. Like I can give you the example of two three movies. Like we must have watched this Vidya Balan's movie. Your this one Bhul Bhulaiya. So Bhul Bhulaiya is a movie where initially once you see the movie, you'll understand it's kind of a movie where they're trying to show evil spirits, and Manjulika is an evil spirit, and this lady has a spirit inside her body, but actually it is not. No, she's suffering from a disorder. It's psychological disorder. But the end of the movie, what they try to, the way they're trying to show the solution part or the treatment part, that is actually not matching in the what we study in the books in the subject. So those things you have to understand, and whoever is watching the movie, they should understand it's more of entertainment and understanding awareness, but maybe at times it's not the correct solution or the treatment or therapy that we get from the book. So for that we need to need to read the books and get more information from the. So we were discussing about some of the movies in the recent years. They have got a very good influence on people because they have been trying to bring out the psychological topics in the movies. English movies were always there, Hindi movies are also there. So it's always good that awareness increases through this type of short films and movies, reaches the mass, the audience. That is really good.
Okay, ma'am. So nowadays in social media, whenever we open social media, we have been seeing people for dealing with their mental health. They have been started doing journaling. Even there are some websites they have been selling journaling kits. Does it really have any influence on mental health?
Yes, see, as mental health professionals or psychologists, we always say that it's good when you write down the things in your diary. Previously, also we did not have so much of this concept of counseling, psychology, and all. But when we were also in the school or childhood years, those times we have thought of writing things, which whatever is coming to your mind. So that helps a lot in the way that children nowadays, their attention, their focus has got distracted. They're very much distracted because of the social media, mobile phone, screen times. So if they can take out little bit of time in the whole day, maybe in the night when they're going to sleep, before that if they write down whatever they have been doing the whole day and whatever thoughts were coming, some of them are good, some of them are bad, sometimes they might have some difficult and different type of experience in school or college or maybe in her workplace. So if she can write down that on a daily basis, obviously it's going to help them a lot in the long run. It will help to have a control over their mind.
So, according to your personal opinion, should a person start writing their thoughts out in the diary, or should they buy a proper journaling kit for it?
No, it's diary. It's always something very personal which will be there. Nothing like you need to go and buy things from the market. As I said, the concept of this whole of psychology, counseling was not there. But still, those days also we know we used to write diary. So it was a habit for everyone. Nowadays it's becoming difficult because we have a lot of other things to get distracted to. It's always good if you have your own personal diary. You can keep a note of on your daily basis.
Okay. So, with that, we have been seeing people nowadays dealing with a lot of, health issues. They have been opting for vegan things. They have been trying to sleep for 7 to 8 hours. Doctors have been recommending to sleep for 7 to 8 hours. They should have a proper physical lifestyle, like the healthy physical lifestyle. So, are these all things really mandatory for dealing the mental health?
Yes, of course, it is very important because proper sleep. Sleep has got a very important impact on the body. And whenever we talk about psychology, we all know that mind and body are connected. So, suppose if somebody is not getting proper healthy food or not getting proper sleep, that will obviously have an impact on the mental health. So, minimum for adults, 5 to 6 hours of deep sleep is required. If we see the sleep pattern, we will see that it's in the midnight, around 2:30 or 3 a.m. is the time when everybody needs deep sleep. So that has a lot of impact. So to keep ourselves very calm, next day work and everything to schedule properly, sleep has to be very, very important, playing a role here.
So, we have been seeing a lot of practical ways to deal with our mental health: meditation, journaling, and then you have said for the healthy lifestyle. But for the individuals between the age group of 18 to 23, what practical piece of advice would you like to give?
See, this, as I said, crucial age is this teenage as well as people going to the adulthood. Now, for them, regularly, I keep on telling my students also, it's very good that those who have a habit of listening to music. Nowadays we talk about music and dance therapy, and music has a healing power. Many of us are in a habit of listening to music through headphones or whichever way it is while coming to school, going back, college, work. But we should keep some time to heal ourselves and some time where you can talk to yourself instead of just looking at the phone or hearing anything. Just be in a quiet place. If you can take out 10 minutes also every day, maybe you go to the terrace or you be sit in your own room with nobody around. That is, you give time to, we call introspection, no? We talk to ourselves and just to settle things whatever we have been facing. So let's just be with me. That is very very important. We have to understand ourselves first, then only we can handle the other situations.
So, how should someone easily control themselves from getting distracted?
So, as I said, mindfulness, regular practice of meditation, yoga also helps a lot, and listening to music. Apart from that, sometimes we find that many of them are having a habit of keeping pets, because I am also a very big pet lover. I have a number of pets. So, pets also play a very important role in handling all these issues. When we are sad, we are depressed, if you have a pet, you can connect to the pet. So, these things are there on a daily basis. If you think that, okay, these are the different ways how I can boost up my mental health or I can be more calm, because many situations are there where we become very angry, we become frustrated, we think that we'll start shouting on each other. But that is the time when we should know how to control our mind. Instead of shouting and making the things bitter, I think that's the time. If you can just come and have a training on this for yourself, then obviously you'll be in a better situation to handle that time frustration.
And what about someone who cannot express themselves?
It's very difficult for them. They need somebody to help them, of course. Sometimes we find there are people who are very shy, they are very introvert, they are not like the others. That is okay, because there's a lot of individual difference. All are different. Some are introvert, some are extrovert, some can easily mix with people. Wherever they go, you put them, they will easily make friends there. But yes, for this type of people, if you find that for a long time the person is not able to mix with others and share things with others, maybe sometimes we find the children, they do not have a single friend in the class. Sometimes we find the children coming from the other schools, that very often we have seen as teachers coming from other schools, they're taking 1 year or more than that to adjust themselves to that new environment, new school, new friends. So for them, you need to have somebody to whom the person can go and talk to, share his or her feelings with confidentiality, of course, and trust, which is a very very important term which we use. Another word which we often and often use is non-judgmental. If she or he is coming and talking to you, you have to be very very non-judgmental. You cannot just go and discuss the same thing with somebody. There you will lose the trust of the person. So it's very good that you have to be yourself very calm and composed to listen to others. So first thing is handling your own self, second thing is handling the other person. So on a daily basis, I think this type of practices like meditation, yoga, freehand exercises, certain breathing techniques are there, or just a walk in the terrace, or spending some time with your pets, music, very important, as I say. These are all part of our daily stress management techniques.
So, our dynamic environment plays a crucial role, right?